rAVe Radio. With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and raves with Gary K.
Hey everyone, this is Gary K, and we're doing another pre-CEDIA video cast. Today I'm joined with Kevin Peterman, Director of Product Management over at Liberty AV Solutions. Kevin, how are you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on, Gary.
Yeah, well, thank you. And one of the things you're going to be highlighting at CEDIA, and by the way, your booth is 14009, but everyone will be able to find you. There's only a couple hundred exhibitors there, but you should definitely check out Liberty. Liberty has a little, their glue company has a little bit of everything. But one thing that you're going to be highlighting, which is fairly new for you, is your AV over IP product line known as Digilinks IP.
Yeah, correct. And specifically the 10 gigabit SDVoE portion of that. Believe it or not, we've actually been doing AV over IP in the 1 gig world for about 7 years now. But it's fairly new in the 10 gig world, and it's really taking off like crazy in our commercial space, and we're hoping it'll do the same in residential as well.
Yeah, and so obviously with 10 gig, you do a lot less compression of 4K. So if you're wanting to get the highest resolution 4K, but keep it on a network, which makes it a lot easier to distribute, and also makes it with SDVoE where you can put multiple pieces of content on the screen at the same time. I assume that you'll be offering that as a controller as well.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. So multi-view is what we call that, feature. Obviously the opposite of multi-view being video wall, which we do actually have people doing in residential settings on occasion, although that seems to be shifting more to multi-view, but people, the bigger projectors, multiple football games or whatever it might be on the display. So
but I also, a lot of integrators in the residential space also do bars and restaurants and things like that, and even digital signage applications where they'll have a need for AV over IP, don't you think?
Yeah, totally. So, and that's actually exactly why we are also bringing our 1 gigabit product as a static demonstration, just to speak about. 10 gig will be up and running live, but 1 will be there because we do a tremendous amount of that type of work where it is actually primary residential integrators that, they get a job because they did the home theater, they did the whole house AV for maybe the sports bar owner or somebody who knows somebody sort of thing. So yeah, we've got two lines of 1 gigabit, and actually we're even launching a third. So we're going to end up with 4 series by the end of the year. But again, 10 gigabit, very, very flexible. We are also a partner and a stocking distributor of Netgear, who's obviously a big player in that space and has provided a tremendous amount of help. So it's the other part of the story, is being able to offer that design assistance that Netgear brings to the puzzle right here, purchase the entire system, including the network piece.
Yeah, and you have a residential focus site. If you go to libertycable.com/residential, you could see the residential site. And you also offer premium cable, not just HDMI, but also networking as well. So you are kind of a full stop shop with regard to, you're kind of like, as I said, kind of like a glue company for everything everyone needs to plug things together and keep things together inside of a home or in a business.
Well, and that's it. And I actually, in a previous life, I was a residential integrator, and that was how I learned about it. Is we used to pull Liberty wire and cable for many years, right? It's a 3-decade-old company on that wire and cable side. So we certainly have the experts and the product offering there. Been again on the electronic sides now for over a decade, so we're well versed. But 100% we can pull that all together. I will say, Gary, one other point really quick about the 10 gig, the SDVoE is really the unique portion, and what we really want to make sure everybody walks away with is actually on the software side. It's what we call a Ranger, and it's what the commissioning folks are going to use and interface with to deploy the system. We've won awards on for this piece, and it's also one of the few that is consistent and gives a consistent experience across the entire line, regardless of 1 gig or 10 gig, right? So the
controller controls your 1 gig and your 10 gig and does that layout for multi-view?
Yes, yeah. So regardless of whether you're using our JPEG 2001 gig or our SDVoE 10 gig, the feel and the process and everything that you're doing is going to feel exactly the same. Obviously, there's feature differences and there's capability differences, and so those features pop up in what we call our 6000 series, which is 10 gig. So, but We also have a simple control capability built into a Ranger, and we have an analytics kit built in. So for simple control, not displacing very elaborate control that's out there from control forward pressure on and so on, but for simple control, we have the ability to completely take care of that, built right into the controller of rAVe over IP, and that's all under the Ranger platform. So we're going to be showing, the hardware. I mean, I hate to say, but at this point, kind of is what it is. That there's only so much that we can do, but the differentiation comes into how easy can we make it to deploy? What's the performance, of the actual software that's creating these routes and allowing the person who's sitting in that home to, to configure this system? Is this going to be a nightmare, or is this going to be easy to use? And so that's what a Ranger does. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Excellent. Well, check it out at libertycable.com. And of course, you'll be at CEDIA Expo in booth 14009. Kevin, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Look forward to seeing everybody at CEDIA.
Yep, they'll definitely stop by. And if you want to see all of our video casts, go to ravepubs.com.
rAVe Radio with Rants and Raves.